What's up, everybody? You were tuned in to the Cris and
Maul.
episode 9. Hope everybody's having a good day. Hope your Wednesday is filled with great joy and all that good stuff. What's going on, Ma? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Just enjoying the weekend, brother. How's your day going?
It's okay. But
Yo, why you say it like that, man? What's going on?
nothing. Let's off camera topics. Off camera
I
topics.
got it. I got you. I got you.
But yeah, man, other than that, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Good.
alive, I'm breathing, That's all
That's
that matters.
good. That's good. That's good. That's good.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and get into these topics, brother.
Let's go.
College realignment.
Mhm.
Been a big topic since it's probably since the whole summer, but
Yeah.
more and more has been dropped. Bombshells have been dropped every day, damn near. Florida State going to the SEC, maybe even Clemson and
Hmm.
Big 12 put in a request for Arizona State, and Utah, and Big Ten. They about to get USC, and UCLA, and
Yeah.
possibly Oregon, and all them.
Yeah.
So right now, it's leaving the Pac-12 in shambles, pretty much. They
Hmm.
might have to merge with the Mountain West, which, if you're from Las Vegas, UNLV is in the Mountain West.
Hmm.
San Diego State.
Hmm.
So it looks like they're trying to make power four conferences right now with the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 10, and maybe the ACC.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on all this college realignment?
Um, you could just tell that the NCAA has really no control over this, man. You can also tell this is all about TV revenue. You know what I mean? Like Pac-12 is literally down to like four teams right now with Oregon State, Stanford, Cal, Washington State. There are rumors right now where they're saying Stanford might even they're trying to see if they can get into the ACC right now. So you might need to start looking out for that. But right now, man, it looks like it's the Big Ten, or I guess you can call it the Big 18 show and the SEC show at this point. You know what I mean? Because
Mm-hmm.
you also hear rumblings about Florida State. Where I think their chancellor or AD was already talking about the potentials of them leaving their conference as well. If they were to leave, I would assume it would be SEC bound for them. If Florida State leaves ACC, I think ACC will be the next Pac-12 in the sense of you will see a whole bunch of teams start leaving that conference. I think you start seeing the likes of like Clemson and North Carolina and all those guys potentially thinking about moving.
Mm-hmm.
I think eventually a lot of these leagues will get swallowed up into just two big major conferences. Whoever gets accepted is going to turn into like kind of like the country club. You know what I mean? Either you can make it in or you can't. You know what I mean? So um, obviously, with the expansion of the college football playoff as well, I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. But overall, I also think about kind of like the smaller colleges in a sense, because now a lot of these teams aren't going to be needing the small colleges to create their schedules now. And a lot of these teams are pretty much going to be going straight into conference play right off the bat. You know what I mean? So what's that going to do to smaller colleges? What is that going to do to black colleges? You know what I mean? Who honestly get money to go play the Alabamas and the Georgias and all that. You know what I mean? That's money that they're losing out. That obviously, I'm sure we can get into this one day where a lot of these black colleges sports programs aren't really run that well. You know what I mean? You've heard a lot of horror stories with certain stuff, and you kind of started hearing a lot more about that when Deion Sanders was the coach of Howard and stuff like that, with the
Mm-hmm.
conditions that a lot of these black colleges are going through.
Yeah.
So that's another thing you got to look out for. But overall, man, we all kind of saw this coming. At the end of the day, I'm not surprised. I'm kind of surprised at the way the Pac-12 just got dogged out at this point. Like they're hanging on by a thread, and I don't know how much longer it's going to happen with them. So yeah, it's crazy to see, but honestly, it was honestly not surprising to me.
It's surprising from a Pac-12 standpoint because the Pac-12 was like the big thing for the West Coast. So now that that's getting swallowed up, and a lot of these West Coast teams are going to be traveling to Midwest and more up north. teams is going to be different. It's going to be weird. But I will say this for those kids who are NFL um, bound, prospects, this will benefit them for as traveling purposes because if you're bred in the West Coast and USC, you used to going to Washington, you used to going to Utah, you used to going to you staying in your region. Now you got to go to Michigan, where it's cold. You got to go to Ohio State, where it's cold. Northwestern, where it's cold. So that's going to benefit you when you go because when you go to the NFL, ain't no saying you play for the LA Chargers, you might have to go to a cold city like Chicago. And you might have to go to Kansas City. You definitely got to go to Kansas City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to deal with cold weather regardless. So it will benefit them when they get to the league. Oh, I'm used to playing in cold weather. So I had to play Ohio State in the middle of November. You know what I'm saying? I had to play Michigan in December. So
yeah. Well, no, I think, well, you got a lot of old traditionalists who are like complaining, talking about like, oh, the travel is going to be bad. I'm like, bro, traveling will be fine. I don't want to hear that. It's like a 3-hour flight from like Oregon to like Chicago, whatever. It's not going to be that bad. Man, a lot of these teams are flying on private jets anyway. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So they'll be fine. And then on top of that, you're going to get big games pretty much every week. You're not going to have the doldrums of like Michigan playing like, TCBY College or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Not to be disrespectful, but it's just like, man, no one's trying to watch them. Michigan drub a team by like 80. But at the same time, like I said, it's kind of like it's a rock and a hard place in the sense with, we're going to get better games, but at the same time, a lot of those colleges, they need that money from those bigger schools so they can, still have their sports programs. You know what I mean? Like what's that going to do to the sports programs at Howard and Grambling and all those other schools? You know what I mean? So like, and that's just and now we're talking about the bigger sports, like the basketballs and the footballs. We ain't talking about the baseballs, the hockeys, the volleyballs, the golf, you know what I mean? We're not even talking about those sports, you know what I mean? So if that happens, they're going to start having to lose those programs, which is going to lose scholarships, which is going to have less opportunity for kids to go to college, you know what I mean? Because it's already expensive enough to go to college. So it's a trickle down effect. There's going to be some goods and there's going to be some bads with it. I think I don't want to hear anybody crying about the Oregon States and Stanfords. They're going to be fine. Like, you know what I mean? They'll figure it out. Like Stanford will find a spot wherever it is. Oregon State will find a spot wherever it is. Washington State, they'll all be fine. I don't want to hear about that. If anybody's going to cry, they need to cry about these smaller colleges. But miss me with all this, where's Stanford going to go? Like, Stanford will be fine. And then in a sense, also with the Pac-12, it's like, I'd say it's not surprising just because the moment USC and UCLA left, you already knew it was coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was surprised when that happened. But as far as like this, I kind of just knew it was going to happen sooner or later, regards to the Pac-12 kind of like dismembering. But just at the pace that it's going, it's I could see that being surprising because it's literally just been like, we're literally like 3 weeks away from college football starting, and next thing you know, this is the last year Pac-12 might be in existence.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it makes for better college football games.
No, there definitely will, man. You definitely gonna get the Michigan USC's early in the years.
The only thing and that's the only thing for bettors like me. I like early football season when they play the lower level players because then you can bet the first half.
Easy money, huh?
Easy money, baby.
No more of those.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the sports books are happy about that.
Yeah, man. It's all good though. It's all good. All right, man. Let's talk about the Fiba basketball team, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
They are out here in Vegas. Mm-hmm. They actually got a game today against Puerto Rico.
They do. Yeah, we're going to it.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Now, some of the headlining players that are on this team, Pablo Bachero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Hittenberger,
Halliburton,
Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Cam Johnson, Bobby Portis, Austin Reeves.
Let's go, baby.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir.
Now the tournament starts August 25th to
Mhm.
September 10th.
Yep.
Last time they played was in 2019, where
Mhm.
they placed 7th. So they're trying to recover from that bad placement that they placed last. It's a very young team.
Mhm.
So, some people, I saw Gilbert Arenas, he said the team was trash, but, whatever. He said the team.
I fuck with Gilbert, man. He's funny, dog.
He
He's
said
funny.
the team is gonna be trash. But,
Shout out to him, bro. I fuck with his podcast.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on this FIBA basketball team?
Honestly, I like the squad, man. We got some young dudes I like. I like Mikal Bridges. I like Paulo Banchero. Jalen Brunson is good. Anthony Edwards is a beast, man. I heard he's been killing in their little mini camp that's been going on. I know there were reports where they were kind of having a little bit of hardships where the select team was pretty much whooping on the main team, but I heard that they did a couple of lineup changes and that's been kind of corrected. I think Brandon Ingram's going to do great. I think Josh Hart, my boy Austin Reeves, he's going to do amazing. The only thing is like with the Gilbert Arenas, like I do believe that Trae Young should be on this team. If he really wanted to be on this team, Trae Young should have been on this team, regardless. If he was going to be on this team, I probably would have took out. I would probably took out Bobby Portis or son, me personally. You know what I mean? Put Trae Young in there because Trae Young deserves to be on that squad. I don't know the whole dynamics of it. I'm sure there's politics with that. He was kind of hinting at maybe Nike having the point in that decision. You know what I mean? So that's all he say she say with that. But overall, man, I'm excited to see how they look tonight. You know what I mean? They'll be going against Puerto Rico. This should be a good game. But they got a lot to look out, man. There's a lot of good teams in this tournament, man. Like obviously Jokic is not going to be playing with Serbia, so that's a little downplay. Still got to figure if Giannis is going to play with Greece, but Canada, bro, they got the squad, bro. Jamal Murray plays on that squad, bro. You got RJ Barrett, Dylan Brooks, Shai Gilgeous, which he's like one of my favorite players. And then if you add Jamal Murray on that, that's the team you got to worry about. You know what I mean? And then obviously you got France, like they're not going to have Victor Wembanyama because he said he's not going to play. But you also got like the likes of like Spain, Slovenia with Luka. You can never, Luka he by himself can win this whole thing. So it's gonna be tough. I think it's gonna be a good tournament. I think it's gonna be really exciting. I think they're playing over in the Philippines, I believe. So gotta catch them a little early. So I'm excited to see how they look, how they gel, and hopefully they bring gold, man. I know they did pretty good last time. So
for sure. Yeah, for sure, man. Check them out tonight. See what they working with. See if they got that chemistry. See, these tournaments a little. They've since I would say the '92 Dream Team.
Yeah.
These teams have gotten way better. And
oh yeah,
it's funny. I remember back in the day when even the regular USA team when they used to just try to throw anybody. They used to, we was arrogant, so we thought we could put any basketball player, and we put 6 man on there and we'll beat everybody.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize that the Spain, the Ricos, and some of these other squads is getting better. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're totally right. And it's just like I kind of see what they're kind of doing with the whole USA program. They kind of use the FIBA basketball tournament to get the younger guys ready for the Olympics. So, they'll take the young superstars like, the Brandon Ingrams and all that. But when it comes to Olympic basketball, that's when you're gonna start seeing like the Jason Tatums, the Steph Currys, the LeBron if he wants to play again. That's when the Anthony Davises. You'll start seeing those players for the Olympics. So I get the kind of thing what they're doing, which I think is smart. You know what I mean? I think FIBA basketball is a great way to get those guys ready because I think they view the Olympics as way more important than FIBA basketball is. But but like imagine if Giannis plays, imagine if Jokic were to play, man. It'll be kind of hard, like, with the squad we have, they might not be the favorites. So at least these games are going to be entertaining if you're able to catch them. Obviously, like, depending on where you're at, you're going to have to wake up a little bit early to watch these games. But, if you can, hey, give it a shot, man. I know they're coming on tonight. So, as I said, I'm excited to watch them, see how they look, and then, see how they do in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
Might see some a new star that you ain't really watched before.
Yeah, Austin Reeves, baby. Austin Reeves, baby. Watch my boy cook.
Here you go.
Yeah.
You and your Lakers.
Yeah, man, we coming, baby. We coming. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of your Lakers, good segue. AD gets a new contract extension.
Yeah, yeah.
3 years, 186 million, which will
Mm-hmm.
add up to 270 million plus
Mm-hmm.
62 million a year, I think it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah, you're correct.
You are the Laker correspondent, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you let me know how you feel about AD getting his contract extension.
No, I'm excited, man. I think right there it just kind of literally ends all distractions going into the season. We kept our roster. We upgraded our roster. We know LeBron's in his final year of his contract, so obviously we already know what's up. He's healthy. We're hearing reports that he's healthy. His foot is better. AD's feeling great. AD looks great. He got his new contract, so he should be going into camp happy. Everybody should be happy. We should be starting off on a clean slate. No drama. We ain't got no Russell Westbrook drama. No nothing. So this puts me in perspective that I believe we should start out strong. I'm hoping we start out strong and we're not starting out slow. I know there's also reports that we could still be in contention to get Christian Wood. If we could get Christian Wood, I'm acting ignorant. I know some people don't like him, but at the end of the day, I just always believe AD always wants to play the power forward position. He doesn't want to play the center position. So if we can get Christian Wood and have him be in the center or whatever, I know we got Jackson Hayes and all that, but it puts youth on our squad. So and then obviously, depending on what LeBron does, we still have a superstar going in, so if LeBron does leave next year or decides to retire or whatever, that we do have a superstar where that can, get other superstars and maybe want to come over, you know what I mean? And if also things don't work out, we can still trade him, you know what I mean? So I think it's a win-win for everybody. AD gets his money. We alleviate all the distractions. We have no distractions. We have no news stories besides getting ready for training camp. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I'm really excited about this Lakers season. I'm sure we'll talk more about that when it's closer to the season. But yeah, that's just kind of like my thoughts about it, man. Good for him. He got the highest paid contract for his seasonally. You want to donate to the show, please do, brother. You know what I mean? We love you over here. Shout out. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
Yeah, man. Good for AD, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
With all his injury history and all that stuff, still got his contract extension. The Lakers,
Yeah.
still got their guys. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It looks
Yeah.
like they added a nice little squad around LeBron and AD and
Yeah.
keeping Austin Reeves and what's his name? Rui.
Rui. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Keeping Rui and they added a few other players that
Yeah.
they could contend for a championship this year.
No, we can.
That's what this is what this tells me. Jenny Buss is like, we are competing for championships, and that is it.
100%. You know what I mean? And we got to see the development of the young guys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
With Max Christie, and the young point guard we got from Indiana. I was liking the way they were looking. So, and we've been one of those teams that has been able to to get young talent to be great. You know what I mean? With all the young guys that are sprinkled around the league. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a great opportunity for us to go into the season for the first time in a couple years with no distractions. And for people who are complaining like, oh, why are you giving AD this contract? I'm like, what do you expect the Lakers to do? Just let him walk out for nothing?
Right.
Like, we don't need that. You know what I mean? Give his man his money. Like, yeah, he had a bad series with the Nuggets. He had the good, great games and the terrible games. I get that, and I show my frustration. But we all know AD's a great player when he
Yeah,
plays the way he needs to play. So hopefully now he got his contract. Hopefully he can come to camp healthy, strong, and be the AD that we expect him to be. And hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the only thing we got to worry about is AD staying healthy. If he can stay healthy, then I expect great things from the Lakers this season for sure.
for sure, for sure. Let's talk about little Dwight Howard. Now, this
Yeah.
man is always in the headlines, for
Mhm.
whatever reasons,
Mhm.
he's in the headlines for another reason. We ain't gonna get into all that.
Yeah.
Um,
We could if he wants to. We could if he wants to.
I am not touching that subject matter. Um, but he made some comments about
Yeah.
James Harden being comparable when he was in his prime to a young Kobe.
Yeah.
And I know you took issue with this. I take issue with this because I feel like, as great as James Harden was in his prime, I feel like he was slightly a little overrated.
Okay. Why do you think that? Why do you think he's overrated?
Because I think in crunch time moments, he freezes up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like that there are other shooting guards, point guard shooting guards that are I I have a list of guys I would put over him. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like Dwight Howard is off his rockers. He's smoking that good stuff, probably moon rock. So, what are your thoughts on these comments?
When I first heard these comments, I was like, um, Dwight Howard need to go back to the red light district and worry about
And
this shit.
not to cut you off, Gilbert Arenas is tripping too, saying that he has Harden over Dwayne Wade. Okay, I digress.
Oh, we can talk about that too, but
I digress.
no, honestly, bro, I just think it's just crazy. Like, I guess I get in the sense where I think he was trying to compare it offensively in a sense of like killing mentality, but I still think it's a slight to Kobe because I think Kobe was just a different breed, man. I think he was just a different tier. I think certain guys got to stop comparing one guy to another guy. I think they should just let guys be who they are. You know what I mean? There will never be another Kobe Bryant. There will never be another LeBron James. There will never be another Michael Jordan. James Harden was James Harden, but I don't believe he was ever on the same tier as a Kobe Bryant. He was not. You know what I mean? The way this man took care of his body, the way this man was defensively. Let's not forget, Kobe was a great defensive player. James Harden was not that. Kobe, like, you could give me all these stats where Kobe missed all these shots in fourth quarter and all that stuff. Kobe was a closer. I don't care what anybody says. I watched Kobe every single game when that man was playing basketball. That man was closing games. That man was asked to do a lot for his team and was winning. Now, did James Harden have a great 2-3 years with the Houston Rockets where he was winning MVPs? He had that great year, like, when they almost made it to the NBA Finals. Yeah, he did. He did. You know what I mean? And due to, some injuries and stuff like that, they weren't able to do it. Like, James Harden has tend to be like where he starts off strong, he starts slowing down as the season goes. And then by the time the playoffs come, I don't know what it is, where he just hits the wall. He just can't produce. He can't do the same things that he does. I don't know if that's him not taking care of his body. I don't know if in a sense where it's the team is asking him to do too much because he can't handle that load like some players can, like an i.e. LeBron James, like an i.e. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, Dwayne Wade even. You know what I mean? Dwayne Wade was able to carry a lot of this stuff. So I just think it's crazy for me. And then that Gilbert Arenas thing, I didn't know about that, where Gilbert Arenas said James Harden was better than Dwayne Wade.
It might have been Jeff Teague. Whatever. Regardless, it was a former player.
Yeah, and it's like I fuck with both those guys. I fuck with both of their podcasts. I think they're great. You know what I mean? But in a sense of like that, like I think people need to stop shitting on Dwayne Wade. I feel like people have been kind of trying to do the whole Dwayne Wade. Yeah. Like Paul Pierce kind of started on the whole show, and then Jalen Rose put him in his place. I'm like, look, like Dwayne Wade was a great player. You know what I mean? He carried Shaq on that season where they won the championship.
Yeah, when I think it was Paul Pierce. Oh yeah, Shaq. Like Shaq was like years past his prime.
You know what I mean? Like he was still functionable. Like it wasn't like Celtics Shaq. No. But at the end of the day, he wasn't the same Shaq of like 01, 2000, 1999 when he was with the Magic. He wasn't nothing close to that. You know what I mean? He was kind of like going towards the downfall because he didn't take care of his body either. You know what I mean? So I just think like the disrespect on some of these players is crazy. I think that slowly as people get older and more new talent comes, people forget how great of an impact some of these players have. It's just going to be natural. As we get older and there's a new crop of young players, the greatness of young players, the youth growing up, like they're going to have their superstars. We're going to believe like Giannis Antetokounmpo is the greatest player ever. Luka is the greatest player ever. Or Victor Wembanyama, depending on how he does. He could be the greatest player ever. Being over the likes of like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and even LeBron James, you know what I mean? So, but that's just the way it goes. But this Dwight Howard, man, just, I don't know what's going on with the brother. I know he had this whole thing with the whole text messages about some dudes that he want to do with some young dudes, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? So, but overall, man, I just think some of the disrespect to certain players, they just gotta chill. They just gotta chill. You know what I mean? And stop comparing everybody there. Everybody, man. Like,
man, that's sports, bro.
I get it. But man, I just think there's certain players, man, you just can't compare them to. You know what I mean? Like, I just think
They did it with Jordan, man.
I know, I know they're gonna do it. It makes sports debates go. I get it, but then sometimes it's like, man, you reaching hella hard on some of these stuff. You know what I mean? Make some more real comparable shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, I can see it because they're on that same level. I see the LeBron James being the greatest player of all time talk. You know what I mean? I believe Kobe Bryant should be in those talks way more, but I feel like people forget what he did. You know, they always want to use him being with Shaq. But people forget that Indiana Pacers series. You know what I mean? People forget all that shit.
You know what I think it is with Kobe, and I'm not saying because I'm gonna be real with you. Rest in peace to that man. But I wasn't the biggest Kobe fan. I respected his game. I knew he was great.
Yeah.
But I wasn't the biggest Kobe Bryant fan. But
why? What was it about Kobe that you didn't like?
I think you know what it was, because I was such a huge Jordan fan. And I always thought he was a Jordan wannabe. That's I'm being real. I'm just being real.
Well, it's kind of the same sense of like when it was the Kobe LeBron debate. You know what I mean? Now it's the LeBron Michael debate. Like if you have your guy, you have your guy, and that's cool. Like stick with your guy. Like I don't care. You know what I mean? But don't just tell me you hate the guy just because you hate him. Like you know what I mean? Like there's certain players be like, oh, like Kobe's ass, Kobe this, Kobe. I'm like, what?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. He was.
Come on, man. Like throw some respect. Like I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but I know like LeBron's great. You know what I mean? Now will he be my number one overall? No, my number one overall will always be Michael Jordan, then Kobe, then LeBron. That's me. You know what I mean? Now, if you want to talk about it in like realistic terms, is LeBron James probably up? Yeah, he is. He is up there in the he's up there where it's like that tip top on the pyramid. He's in that little group right there, you know what I mean? And wherever you want to put him is wherever you want to put him. Right. But if I have him below Michael Jordan or even Kobe Bryant, that's not me disrespecting LeBron. That's just me putting like, yo, he's on the same level. He's sitting at the table with them news. He's sitting at the table.
Yeah, he is.
He's sitting at the table. To me, Kobe's at that table. Michael's at that table. Kareem's at that table. Bill Russell's at that table. Magic Johnson's at that table. LeBron's at those guys are the top tier of all basketball, all time. Miss me with this Mount Rushmore where it has to be just 4 people. Miss me with that. There's too many players that's been in this league where it just should be 4 fucking players all the goddamn time. Like, miss me with that. Come on, bro. Like, you can add another head to the mountain if you really want to. You know what I mean? Like, add it. You know? That's all I'm saying.
But yeah, that was my only great one. I just felt
like I know a lot of people that didn't like Kobe. Like, you know,
he chewed gum like Jordan, walked like Jordan. This is like, come on, man.
Well, even when he got in the league, like people didn't like the arrogance of him. You know what I mean? Like
I didn't mind. I love. Hey, man, you know you're great. Feel like Jordan was the ultimate of arrogance. Like, let's not go there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like Kobe was the closest thing to Michael Jordan. Like no matter what you want to say, he idolized Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Now, however you want to feel about it, you feel like he's stealing his shit. That's fine. But I think all Kobe did was just, to me, I think it was like more of a homage shit. Like, I loved your game so much, I'm going to imitate what the fuck you do. And it's just like, but I'm taking it to another level. You know what I mean? Like, so, I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, I really believe Kobe Bryant's favorite player was Michael Jordan. In the same sense of like Jason Tatum's favorite player is Kobe Bryant. So he kind of mimics him too. And it's like some of the stuff he can do could be a little cringy where it's just like, you know, he wear the armband and stuff, you know, he wear the Kobe shit all the time. And it's like, I get it in a sense where people always want to use the word cringe, but it's him idolizing his favorite player, especially in the sense of like the way he passed away. You know what I mean? Like he passed away too soon. We still got Magic Johnson around. We still got Michael Jordan around. Kobe Bryant should still be here on this earth, but you know, God and his daughter, you know what I'm saying? So God forbid, like all that stuff happening, you know, it's going to take a different meaning. I just don't want people to forget what Kobe meant to the league at the time. You know what I mean? Like he's made an imprint on this league that a lot of cats cannot do. You know what I mean? Jason, in the same sense of like what Patrick Mahomes is doing right now in the league, he's making an imprint that's going to last, that's going to elevate quarterback play for years and decades to come. No matter how I feel about Patrick Mahomes or anybody else, like I can hate your team and I hate your team. But Patrick Mahomes is going to be one of those players that sits at the table with the Tom Brady's, with the Peyton Mannings, well, not Peyton Mannings, but the Joe Montanas, with the elites of the quarterbacks.
You can put Peyton in that. You can put.
I'll put Peyton up in there too. I know a lot of people like to put like the titles with it too. But I was putting a sense of him changing the game. Yeah. He's like Patrick Mahomes is like Steph Curry. You know what I mean? He's changing the game on the way it's played. He's changing the way quarterback play is looked at. You know what I mean? That's going to change the game for fucking ever. So, and that's something that players can't do. It's already hard enough to make it to the league as it is. Right. You know what I mean? So now you're at the league where it's hard enough where, like, look at the NBA. There are only about 300, 350 guys that make it to the league every single year. And you got to assume about 200 of them are the same players every year. So you only got really like maybe like 50 to 60 slots that, you know, there might interchange every now and then. So now you're one of those 350 every year. Now you're at the top of your game with some of the elites. Then on top of that, now you're changing the game where people are changing to position. That's crazy as shit, man. You know how ill you gotta be to do some stuff like that. So it's like, you know, I shout out to all these guys. I just want people to forget certain players as we get older, man. Like, pay homage, man. Do your history, man. Stop saying dumbass shit just to say shit so you can get fucking clicks. I just think that's corny as shit to me.
Yeah, I hear you. As far as I started respecting Kobe. You know what, man? We started respecting Kobe, like actually liking him, was when he joined the U.S. basketball team.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's when he kind of finally got it. Like, these guys are my, you know, he started mingling because at first, and you hear the stories of Kobe. Kobe would be off practicing while everybody else is out at the club doing their thing. Kobe's over practicing, and I respect that. Like, he was dedicated. You know what I'm saying? But it was like when he joined that U.S. basketball team with Kobe and with LeBron and Melo and Wade and all of them. I think he kind of understood it. Like, you know what? I need to be a little bit more personable with these guys. I need to, you know, conversate with these guys because I think he realized how much he's an impact on these guys' lives. These guys grew up watching him just as much as they grew up watching Jordan. They grew up watching Kobe too. So like, Kobe was the elder statesman on that team. You know what I'm saying? So,
like, you know how ill that is, where you got players like LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, like all these guys looking at you like you're a sensei, dog. Like you changed the way those guys play basketball. You changed the way those guys approach basketball, approach training, approach the way how you should take this stuff professionally, approach the way where if you can play the goddamn game. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's like you guys, like some of these guys take it for granted to play in the league. Like, you're blessed. You're one of the few that are blessed that had the body type and the ability to make it to the league where you have millions of motherfucking kids that would love to be in your position, but you choose to take advantage of it every day. You choose to piss on what you have. And IEs of the Ben Simmons, IEs of the James Hardens, IEs of like Shaq back in the day when he didn't want to take it serious with his weight. You know, this is all respect at the end of the day. But it's just like, the way people looked at Kobe, they looked at him like he was like Yoda in Star Wars. You know what I mean? In the sense of like, this is the type of player that you need to be if you want to be great, because you're going against great players. So you got to do everything a possibility to be above that, to be beyond that. You know what I mean? He, as you said, if you looked at the documentary, he changed the whole mentality of that whole USA basketball. You know what I mean? To the point where they got the gold. You know what I mean? Like, that's why it's like the disrespect to Dwayne Wade. LeBron James went to Dwayne Wade to learn how to win a chip. He went to that culture to learn from Dwayne Wade, to learn from Pat Riley, to learn from those guys on how to win a championship. He couldn't do it in Cleveland. You know what I mean? So he went to Miami. Yeah, he teamed up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, but they lost that first year against Dallas because they weren't ready. LeBron wasn't ready for that. You know what I mean? He had to go through the hardships. Then he went through the hardships. Now you see where he's at. You know what I mean? Now it's like you expect him to be great all the time. He changed the mentality on LeBron James when he first was in the league. Is that he was kind of in the same sense of like the way you view James Harden. He couldn't close. He couldn't. You know what I mean? Then he had that great game against the Pistons. He had that great game against the Celtics the one year. Then he went to Miami. He had a choke job against the Dallas Mavericks. He did that. It was a choke job. He'll be the first one to admit that. I hope he would. But then he learned from that. And then now people expect him to be great every single night. I expect LeBron James to be great every single night because I was one of those people that looked at LeBron. I'm like, LeBron's great. Yeah, he's great. But he don't close like Kobe. He don't win games like Kobe. But he changed that mentality that people had about him. Now people expect him to be great all the time. People expect him to make the finals every year. No matter, even at the age that he is. The age that he's doing is fucking crazy. This man about to be 40 years old. And I'm expecting us to have a title hunt. You know what I mean? With a 40-year-old player. I expect him to be great this year. I really do. So that just shows, you know, no matter how much hate you have towards some certain players, you got to put the respect on their name, man. You know what I mean? That's at the end of the day. We can have fun. We can joke around. Like anytime I talk shit about a player, it's all fun. When I talk shit about Patrick Mahomes, it's all fun. You know what I mean? But deep down, I know Patrick Mahomes is a fucking great player. I know this, you know. So some people just take the shit and they just say dumb shit just to have clicks, and it's just, as I said, it's corny as fuck to me. It's just corny. But we all can have our opinions.
Right, it's all good. But bottom line, James Harden ain't Kobe. So
no.
let's switch off sports a little bit, man.
Yeah.
Lizzo scandal.
Yeah. Shorty tripping. It's true.
So these two dancers have put out a lawsuit on Lizzo.
It's like 3 now. I think it's 3.
Is it 3 now?
Yeah,
well,
it's 3.
Regardless, Lizzo is out here body shaming, making them do things that they don't want to do as far as like sexual things. Now, this is Hollywood. You know, they do weird sexual stuff. They have weird sexual fantasies in Hollywood anyway. So
yeah.
So she's being sued. You know, these girls have claimed that they're not getting booked as much because they've went over a little weight.
Yep.
And you know, they're not participating in the party.
Yeah.
Ideas from Lizzo and some of the sexual innuendos that she's, you know, asking him to do. So they're, you know, filing a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Now, Lizzo has put out a statement on Instagram. And she says, these last few days have been gut-wrenching, difficult, overwhelming, disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness has been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually, I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are unbelievable as they sound too outrageous to be addressed. The sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already been publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. As an artist, I've always been very passionate about what I've done, take my music and my performances seriously, because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work, high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intentions to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they aren't valued as part of the team. Well, I'm not going to read the rest of this, but bottom line. Now, look, do I think two things can be the truth? Yes, I do. Do I think Lizzo can possibly, maybe these girls, and, you know, they didn't expect Lizzo to be really like hardcore, you know what I'm saying? And I know how these artists think when they are performance based. You think Beyonce don't cuss out her backup dancers? Of course she does. You think she don't say some crazy stuff to these backup dancers? Of course she does. But she's Beyonce. So so do I think Lizzo was probably disrespectful? I do. I really do. But at the same time, now the sexual harassment stuff, yeah, that's bad. You know what I'm saying? But as far as her cussing out a few employees because she didn't like the way they performed, I ain't gonna kill her for that. I ain't gonna kill her for that. But the sexual harassment stuff, yes. I if it's true, shame on you, Lizzo.
Yeah.
What are your
I listened to a couple of interviews some of the girls had and stuff like that. First off, I'll say like her statement was funny as fuck to me. I thought that shit was funny. You know what I mean? I think it's a joke. You know what I mean? You can say that you can literally hear the PR shit. But at the end of the day, I'll say this though. If it's true what she did as far as like the fat shaming shit, I think, you know, obviously I think that's a little bit of, you know, double standard ish. You know what I mean? You sitting there proclaiming that, you know, all bodies are beautiful bodies and all this other type of stuff and blah blah blah. But you always seeing here fat shaming these girls for gaining some weight. Like, Ma, you low key need to look in the mirror. If you want to do all that shit, then we can start doing that. But, you know, some of them were saying like this was like their first time in the business as far as like getting a job like this in a sense. So I could see in the sense where maybe they weren't prepared. You know, I've heard other people say that, you know, this shit just sounds like just regular music shit as far as like what goes on in the industry. Now, if that's the case, I think there should be a study into that to see, like, obviously, I don't think that's a healthy environment. No matter what kind of working environment it is, I get like being a artist and getting ready for a tour and all that stuff is a very stressful thing. You know what I mean? You want shit to be on point. I'm sure Lizzo wants her shit on point. You know what I mean? This is her being represented. Every dancer out there is representing her because her name is on the ticket. Her name is on the bill. You know what I mean? So I get it. But there's a sense of, man, you need a healthy work environment. And this can go anywhere. This can go any job. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have happy workers, you ain't gonna get a great product. You know what I mean? So I think there should be a look into kind of like the way celebrity industry things are going on in this world. You know what I mean? I think most artists are privileged people. I think most artists have particular type of attitudes where they want certain type of things. I think all creative people are like that. They want things the way they see it, not no other way. You know what I mean? So if she has a certain particular type of vision of what she wants to see these dancers do, she has every right to, have that mentality to me. But I think there are ways to go about it. You know what I mean? Like I was hearing some shit where they had to do like a 12-hour fucking like audition just to re-audition and get their jobs back type shit. You know what I mean? I think that's a little wild to me. But as I said, I'm not in the music industry business. I don't know what happens on the day to day. But that Lizzo shit is a little crazy. You know what I mean? It sounds like they probably gonna get paid in some kind of capacity. You know what I mean?
It'll probably be a settlement.
I'm sure there'll be a settlement. I was hearing rumors that there might even be more people added on to the lawsuit where that might come a part of it. So
of course
there always will be more. You know what I mean? Some people have called it, ambulance chasing or whatever. You know what I mean? So, I just think there needs to be a real look into, how things are in Hollywood. But, Hollywood is Hollywood, man. You got to expect the ugly with the good at sometimes, you know what I mean? So as you said, there are some stories where it's like, the like host thing with the banana and the vagina thing is kind of a little wild, but, and some of the other stuff. But all that other Hollywood stuff is kind of like, all right, what can you really say about it? You know what I mean? I can only give my best observation from the outside looking in. I said, I've never done anything in the Hollywood world. Maybe hopefully one day we might be able to, you know what I mean? But, that's kind of like the way I feel about it. It's just like, if they really went through it, hopefully they can get something that, can, hopefully help them benefit it. But at the same time, Lizzo has a name where it's just like if they're in a situation where they don't want to do something, but they feel forced, and this is your first job. And I think Lizzo has a lot of power in the game. She knows the Beyonce. She knows everybody that can blackball them, and they may never even get a job again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, when I hear certain people talking about like in the sense of, and sorry to keep going, but it's just like in a sense of like, where it's like, they're grown women. If they don't want to do something, they don't have to do it. But it's like you got to kind of look at the inner linings of it, man. Some of these girls might need a job. Some of these girls might need the money. You know what I mean? This is all they do. This is all they know. So if they were to get blackballed, Hollywood, bro, once they blackball you, it's kind of hard to get back in. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you got to play the cards right. So it's just like, in a sense, like, yeah, they could possibly be like, nah, forget that. I'm not going to do it. But at the end of the day, that could end their career. That can make them lose a lot of money, financial stability, go homeless. There's plenty of stories of people in Hollywood that have gone, you look at them on TV, you think they're doing great. Next thing you know, a year or two later, you seeing a news article talking about they in a homeless shelter or they working out at Home Depot or whatever. Yeah. It's like, what? So, people just got to be a little bit more sensitive to what's going on. But overall, it's just like, if the shit is true, hopefully they get something where they can still prosper in their field and Lizzo can get her act together and not be so fat shaming. That's just wild. Fat shaming and all that. So, yeah, that's kind of my views.
Yeah, like I said, man, all the stuff that doesn't have to do with actual like critiquing them as far as the dancing and whatever, and being on point. Yeah, the sexual harassment stuff, and even the body shaming. That's kind of, like you said, that is kind of wild.
Yeah.
But like I said, these artists, they're meticulous. Especially the pop stars. Pop stars are very meticulous, and they want their stuff the way they want it, and they have a level of entitlement.
They're privileged assholes. You know what I mean? That's what they are. Like, and they earn that because they're celebrities. They're privileged. They're not on the same tier as dancer, me and you. They're gonna treat us different, and it's just a reality. if you Chris, if you always kicked it with Kanye West, Drake, Kim Kardashian, those are your friends, bro. You gonna go around your other friends and be like, bro, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
No,
you,
for sure.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna change you. It's gonna change. You're not gonna be the same Chris as you are now. You would change, dog. You would not be the same.
Nah, I'm always gonna be me. I'm keeping it real, baby.
Fuck out of here, bro. You about to be wearing Tom Ford suits with the ankles showing and shit.
No, I would never.
Yeah,
never,
you would, bro.
never.
I know you would.
If I do, come get me out of the
you might have to fly to India, bro, and get the hair transplant thing.
Get me out of the dark place, because they got me. They got me.
You gonna come on the show with Carlos Boozer Beijing.
Cris has been what's that? They clone Tyron. They clone Cris.
They clone Cris. Nah, yeah. You gonna come on here with the Beijing? I already know that.
I'm not coming to Beijing.
Brand new.
And if I do have time for it, it's gonna be fitted time for it.
I know, with the ankle shot, dog.
They gonna be socks. Down. They're gonna be covering the shoes.
Oh, you gonna wear the Steve Harvey suit?
Not the big ass. Jesus. Not the big ass. Nice fitted.
Okay.
Covering the shoes.
Nah, still that. You still be new. You still have brand new.
No, I wouldn't like that. No. All right, man. Let's switch to boxing, man.
Yes, sir.
Do what we do best.
Oh.
Pound for pound list, baby.
Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm gonna go ahead and start mine and kick mine off first, man.
Rock out, man. Let me hear what you got, bro.
I don't know how to. What's the heavyweight dude's name? Or less
Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, him. I got him at number 10.
Okay.
I know you hate this guy because he ain't fighting. He's about to fight Francis Ngannou, but I still gotta give him his props. He beat Wilder. Whatever. Tyson Fury. Number 9. Mm-hmm. Even though he just got whooped on, I can't forget what he's done in the welterweight division. So I still got Errol Spence at 8.
Okay.
Number 7, Teofimo Lopez.
Okay.
Number 6, Dimitri Bivol.
Okay.
Still got to give Bivol his props. He beat Canelo, and he beat somebody else. I think earlier this year, or last year. But he's still one of the top light heavyweights, if not the top one. Mm-hmm. Number 5, Devin Haney. Even though how you feel about the Lomachenko fight, he still got the W. Mm-hmm. He is the undisputed at 135, and he will. He's about to move up to 140 to fight Regis Progress. Let's see how that goes. Mm-hmm. Number 4, gotta go with what's his name? Inoue. Inoue, whatever. He just he became the undisputed at what was that? Bantam. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. He beat Fulton, and he showed to the people that he is real.
Yeah.
So I got to put him at number 4. Number 3, I got Jamel Charlo. He is the undisputed at 154.
Hey, you got me.
Yeah, he's undisputed at 154.
Okay.
I got to give him his props. He's undefeated still, and he's about to fight Canelo Alvarez. Mm-hmm. Number 2, I got Tank Davis.
Okay.
And number 1, I got an undisputed welterweight champion of the world, the best fighter in the world, Terrence Bud Crawford.
Okay.
No, I do not have Canelo Alvarez on my list.
Oh, wow. That's wild. Okay. I'm not the biggest Canelo fan, but I'm going to go out right off the bat. Tyson Fury is not on my list. That dude is not on my fucking list. He need to be off the list. He need to have his build stripped. He's the worst thing. He's the worst thing going on in boxing right now, in my opinion. So I'm going to start at number 1. I'm going to go with Terrence Crawford, Mr. 40-0. Best boxer in boxing, no matter what division you want to say. He's the best one. I have number 2. I have Inoue. I think number 2. I think he proved a lot with that. You know what I mean? That was like my first time really watching him. He's a very dominant fighter. It's kind of hard for me to see. Obviously, I would love to see him fight. A little bit more, but I think he's number 2, at least with the performance that he did against Fulton. I wasn't expecting that. Number 3, I'm gonna still respect Canelo, man. I'm gonna go Canelo at number 3, man. He is, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Canelo, but he still is kind of like the face of boxing now. Him and Terrence Crawford, they're up there. He still puts on big fights, so we gotta see how he does against Jamel. Number 4, I got Dimitri. Only thing I put him at Dimitri at number 4. I think he did a dominant performance against Canelo. The only thing that I was a little hesitant on doing it was because of inactivity of him right now. You know what I mean? Don't really know who his next fight is, but still a dominant fighter. At number 5, I got Gervonta Davis. I think Gervonta Davis will be. He put on a great show against Ryan Garcia. I think he's up there. I'm kind of curious to see who he fights next. Number 6, I got Usyk. I think Usyk is up there. I think he could potentially be top 3 for me, but obviously he's also he has not fought in a minute. I know he's fighting in a couple weeks, so we got to see how he does. I don't know who Daniel Dubois is, so see how it goes. Number 7, what is this? Number 7. Number 7. Devin Haney. I got Devin. That fight against Lomachenko, I personally thought he lost that fight, but he did win, regardless. But we got to see how he does against Regis. I know that fight is going to happen soon, so got Devin Haney there. Number 8, I got Jermell Charlo. He's definitely top 10 for me. I wouldn't put him top 3. I got to see, he did KO Brian Castano, but at the same time, he has been a little inconsistent as far as like fighting. So I got to see how he does against Canelo. He also talks shit, talking about after Canelo, he wants to fight Terence Crawford. Please do that, brother, so I can see Terence Crawford whoop your ass. Number 9, I got Teofimo Lopez. He's like one of my favorite fighters. I know he says a lot of wild shit, but he was very, very dominant against Josh Taylor. He says he's retired. I don't believe that shit. I know
he's recanted. He's recanted that though.
He's recanted it. Yeah, I know. I've seen him back in the gym. So kind of curious to see who he fights. So go on that. And then number 10, I got Errol Spence. I'm not gonna disrespect this man. He did get beat up pretty bad, but if it was anybody else, I think Errol Spence has a really good shot at winning. So he's still up there. I think he's still in the top 10. Depending on what he does next, I'm still hoping that he decides to take a break on Terence Crawford, let go of that rematch clause, start getting his body ready up for 154. I saw a report where Mayweather was talking about he should be up at 160, 168. He doesn't even think he should even be at 154. So I'm curious to see how he goes, but I'm not going to disrespect Earl. Spence is still the top. You could all say he can still be top 5, honestly, if it wasn't, it's just I think it's just the way he got beat up. It just dropped him down so low. But, I definitely want to see how he responds off that fight. Is he going to be the same fighter? Is he going to still have that Errol Spence in him? You know what I mean? I'm kind of curious. Did Terence Crawford beat him up so bad that he doesn't have that Errol in him no more?
I ain't gonna lie, man. When we were watching that, when he was in his locker room with his family, I felt bad.
Nah, man, I said we talked about last week, man. It was bittersweet, bro. Like because we were both rooting for Terence Crawford, but we're also so big fans of Errol Spence. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of like because I think we were one of the ones as far as like some of the other podcasters that were going on that we won't name. I know your boy Ray Jackson and stuff. Say some wild shit, you know what I mean? To the point where it's just like it's getting to the point where it's very disrespectful to Terence. You know what I mean? I think vice versa. Even if it was Terence losing in the fashion that Errol did, I would still be the same way. I still think Terence Crawford is a top 10 fighter. You know what I mean? I just think that I would have been like Errol Spence is just the better one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were both, to me, they were 1 and 2 as far as like pound for pound at the time. So it's like, all right, one of them has to be the better fighter, or they could be kind of break even. You know what I mean? So I just hope that Errol Spence, man, his head, it's more mental for me. It's not physical. I know a lot of people talk about it with the Carson and stuff. It's more of a mental thing for me. I just don't really want to see him go through another beating like that against with Terence Crawford. If you are asking to fight him in December, I think it's going to be the same result. And it's just like, all right, he did it at 154 now. I think he'll grant you 154. You want to do it at 154, fine. But let's say he gets his ass whooped again. Like, what do you think that would do to him? Let's say hypothetically they fight at 154 in December. Let's say it's like right before New Year's Eve. You know what I mean? Some stuff like that. That New Year's Eve weekend or whatever. And they fight. And Terence Crawford whoops him again. Same fashion. Maybe even worse because they're at 154. What do you think that could possibly do to him and his career?
In his career,
yeah. You know what I mean? So I think he needs to be smart at who he fights next. You know what I mean? I think he needs to gradually build up the 154 style of what he wants to do. And then there will always be a Terence Crawford fight there, man. If he's winning again and he's dominating again, people are already making excuses that he needs to be at 154. So there will be clamor for the fight. So I just don't think there needs to be a rush for him to go back to Terrence Crawford. I just think he needs to just ease his way back in. Don't fight until next March.
Well,
Fight somebody mid tier.
The Nevada Commission has already suspended him on like a medical thing, so he would have to be cleared by medicals to even fight Terrence Crawford again. So,
yeah, I was reading something where he might get cleared by end of September. So I don't know if that's true or not, but
yeah.
Even then, I still wouldn't want him to fight. I still wouldn't. I think he should just take time, kind of reevaluate. This team needs to just kind of like really have another roadmap for him. In the sense of like, all right, man, let's get you like a mid-tier guy in the 154 range. Let's build you back up. You know what I mean? Let's have a dominant performance. Let's get your confidence back up. Because no matter what, man, he is a confident fighter, but I'm sure that chipped away a little bit at his confidence. You got whipped like that, bro. You're gonna have some doubts a little bit. It's just natural.
Honestly, at 154, I wouldn't mind him going to take a fight, and it could be risky, but at the same time, this dude has been beat before. He's been beat by a top guy. He got beat by Jamel Charlo, first round knockout in like 2 seconds. Even though I like this kid, he's young.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna take somebody at 154, I think Errol Spence versus Erickson Lubin would be a good fight for him.
Oh, yeah.
Erickson Lubin, he's powerful. He's a smaller 154. He's like 5'8", 5'10" ish. So I think him and Errol Spence could throw down. If Errol Spence looks good against Erickson Lubin, that could definitely booster him up. Maybe even fight and then maybe he could fight a Steven Fedora, 6'1" kid that's like, he just got knocked out last year. So but yeah. I could see him fight one of those mid-tier guys, maybe in a Julian Williams, a Jalen Hurd. There's guys in the 154 division that he can fight. But I wouldn't jump in there with Terrence Crawford, right?
No, I just don't think I just don't see the purpose. I think it could be more damaging than more good. Me personally, you know what I mean? Because it's like, even if he makes it even a little bit more respectable, I still think he's gonna lose. You know what I mean? I just think like, then it's like, all right, what are you gonna do after that? What are you gonna do after that? You know what I mean? Because Terrence Crawford's gonna own that division. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna get the rematch. So it's kind of like in a sense of like, as you said, he should fight one of those guys. You know what I mean? That kind of gives you a little bit of a scare, but he can still have a dominant performance against. You know what I mean? Build him back up. I'm like, the Terrence Crawford fight will be there next fall if you can, or even in 2020, early 2025, if you play your cards right. You know what I mean? People will clamor for that. Just seeing on Twitter, people are already saying he's gonna be better at 154. They're trying to make them believe in their own heads that he's gonna be better at 154 against Terrence Crawford. So if you already have that, his fan base is gonna support him. So the fight will sell. It will sell. I will watch it again. I would. You know what I mean? I'm gonna support both them brothers. I will. Now, do I still believe no matter what, Terrence Crawford's gonna win that fight? Yes. Obviously, Terrence Crawford is 35, 36 years old, so he is getting older. So there's a potential of him slowing down. Like, let's say if the fight happens in 2025, there's a potential he might slow down. Of course. It's a potential. So then it might make the fight a little bit better. It's kind of like, should Errol Spence play the age game? You know what I mean? With Terrence Crawford. Like, wait a year, see what happens, and then maybe that 1 year, it might be that year he just slows down just that little bit that you need for you to be able to come out on top. You know what I mean? So, and then next thing you know, your whole career looks different. You know what I mean? No matter what. You know what I mean? So it's just a smart way to play it. Like, but who knows? I know he really wants to take the fight on again. If he does, I really don't see a great result in that, honestly. Respectfully, this is our respect, because
I know.
As you said, like, it was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. You know what I mean? I was rooting for Terrence Crawford, but it was hard, man. It was hard seeing Spence look like that, bro. It really was, man.
I'm just mostly like, in the ring it was terrible, but that behind the scenes stuff that they're showing right now, like,
I've seen a couple clips. I haven't seen the whole show yet.
Yeah, when he was in the locker room with his family, it just is like.
Yeah, that was his son he was with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that was sad.
His mom's trying to cheer him up. His daughter's trying to cheer him up, and he, his face all beat up.
Yeah, man. He looked like. Yeah, no, I remember seeing that clip, man, with him and his son. It was just like, man, it was just like, damn, it's just kind of like you saw it in him where he's just like, I feel like he even knows, like, it was just like, man, like, there's nothing I can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It kind of had that face, like, yeah, he did tell his son, you know, we got to try this again, man. And I think he's gonna just. You think there's any potential, like he gets rid of his trainer?
Mm-hmm.
You think he sticks with him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was hearing some things about that where there was like little things talking about where people were kind of discussing maybe he should look into another trainer. Just because in a sense, of like, I forgot what boxer was saying it, in a sense of like how he just didn't have him prepared. He just didn't look prepared at all. Like,
but that I don't think that's a lack of preparation. I just think that's just like Terrence Crawford is just a better fighter.
No, I know.
Sometimes your fighter prepares for everything, but when you get in that ring, it's just different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you can't when the speed, you feel that speed and that power and all that stuff. It's just different being in the ring sparring against somebody who may have the same similar style, but they're not Terrence Crawford at the end of the day.
No. I'm just asking. I totally agree with you. I'm just trying to just ask because I was seeing some things like that. Because honestly, if he was going to get rid of his trainer, who would he go to? What better trainer could he go to? That you gonna go to Terrence Crawford's trainer? You gonna go to Terrence Crawford's trainer? Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
But I'm saying, like, Derek James was just named trainer of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So now that he got whooped, now he's not prepared. Like, he's jumping ship. Like, no. Like,
yeah, I think Errol did everything that Errol used to do in all of his other fights. You know what I mean? He's a bullier. He tries to bully. Like, he doesn't really have the head movement like a Mayweather. He doesn't have the head movement like a Terrence Crawford. He doesn't have that. He's a bully fighter. He bullies you. He wears you down, and he knocks you out. You know what I mean? Crawford just has more finesse to his game. He just has more moves. You know what I mean? He's just a little quick. He's just I think a lot quicker. Looks like a lot harder too. You know what I mean? Of a puncher. So I don't know, man. It's just I want to see Spence do great again.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, so part of me is like, I really don't have the heart to see that. If it were happening in December, I really want to have the heart to watch it. Like, I would watch it, but I would really be in fear of watching it because it's like, bruh. Yeah. Spence. I low-key think I might root for it just to be a little bit closer. Even though I'm still root for Crawford, like, but I'd still be like, man, maybe just, Crawford, man, just don't do that to him, bro. Like, go a little easy on my guy. You know what I mean? Just a little bit, bro. Just a little bit. Spence is too great of a boxer, man, to look like that, bro. It's kind of like, that hurt me the same sense when I saw Roy Jones Jr. going down, bro. That shit hurt me, like, all the time, seeing Roy Jones getting knocked out. Like, when he lost to Tarver, bro, that shit hurt. That shit hurt, bro. You know what I mean? This is a certain athlete. Like, no, that's a great question. What athlete, no matter what sport, that you watched and they had their demise that hurts you? Like, it really was like, damn, I didn't want to see my boy go out like that. You know what I mean? Like,
it was Roy.
You think it was Roy?
It was Roy. But at the same time, I also was in the camp of once he went to heavyweight, he should. Excuse me. He should have never went back down. So I was like, I don't know about this. You going up to 200 and you're gonna go back down to 175.
Yeah.
Like you talking about weight draining yourself.
Yeah.
And then the first time he got knocked out by Tarver, I thought it was I just felt like it was a lucky punch.
Yeah.
I feel like Tarver just caught him because they both were swinging at the same time. And so I was like, Tarver caught him on the lucky one. All right, whatever. And then I thought, so the second time they fought, I was like, Roy gonna get him. And then that's when I was like, it's over. It's over.
Yeah. Like, honestly, there's a couple instances where it was just like, obviously, like, I'm not gonna talk about death because we could bring up Kobe passing away. Yeah. But just like in like sports related, there are a couple guys. Like, one was Michael Vick. Seeing the way Michael Vick went down with the whole dog thing, that shit. When I started hearing reports, I was like, Michael Vick was my guy, bro. Yeah. He's my guy. Back in Virginia Tech, all that, Atlanta, bro. Even though I was a Raider fan, I was rooting for Michael Vick. That shit hurt a lot. Brandon Roy, when he started having bad knees,
Penny Hardaway is mine.
That one hurt a lot.
Penny Hardaway is mine.
No, the other one that really hurt a lot was Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
Derrick Rose, when he blew out his knee, bro, that was that shit hurt a lot too, man. That shit hurt a lot seeing him, because he was on the path, man, of just. I think they were gonna win the finals that year. He blew out his knee. You know what I mean? So that was another sad one, man. There's been a couple, man, where it's just like a couple of cats, man, I was rooting for, man. It was just like, damn, bro, like why I gotta be them? You know what I mean? Where it's like, fuck, you know? So
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Penny Hardaway was mine. I tell you, yeah, Penny, my ultimate was Penny, because Penny to me was just like, he was great, man. I'm sorry, I think that it's sad because these young kids will never understand and appreciate Penny, because people don't know that Penny Hardaway era when he was when he was up there. It was they was putting him up there with Jordan.
He was nice. He was nice.
You know, he could pass like magic. He could shoot. He could dunk on you like, man. Penny was great. And then that ankle injury just took him out. Grant Hill too. Grant Hill was nice, bro.
Yeah, old school like Bo Jackson and shit. You know, with the hip. You know what I mean? That shit was pretty sad. It was kind of sad seeing like, you know what I mean, like Megatron leaving. You know what I mean? Just because in the sense, like, man,
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders. You know, even Andrew Luck to a degree. Like, I wasn't like a big Andrew Luck dude, but just kind of seeing him just being like, damn, I don't want to do this no more, dog. It's just kind of like, damn, you know what I mean? It's like, fuck. You know, it's like kind of when you hit that wall, it's just being like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit no more. Or it's just like, damn, I got this injury that like just destroyed my career. You know what I mean? Like even like your boy, like Derek Thomas, you know what I mean? You know, God forbid, you know, he passed away. You know, Sean Taylor, you know, guys like that.
Sean would have been the best safety of all times because he was Troy. He was Troy and Ed Reed put together.
No, he was. He
he was Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu put together, and he hit you, man. When he hit that punter in the Pro Bowl, I knew it was different.
Nah, for real. So I'll tell you, that shit was sad too, man. It was just like, damn, man, like. Why you gotta do that to him? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like you could kind of look through like kind of like all the saddest moments in the history of like sports, man. It's so many, man. That's why sports is it's great, and it's also it hits you too, man, because you get a lot of great stories out of these things. You know what I mean? People always be wondering like, man, why you guys watch sports? Man, you gotta look at it, man. There's stories within the game, man. There's stories all over, man, where it's just like. Man, some of these guys, man, they can have movies, man. They can have movies based on it, man, for real.
And not even just that. Sports is an attachment of something that you remember as a kid. Oh, I used to watch these games with my dad, or I used to watch these games with my grandfather, or even my mother, my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? Or the whole family used to come together and watch these games together, and those were the best time. Even if you grew up in a dysfunctional household, everybody arguing, whatever, but those times came on when the game was on. Everybody was chilling, cool, on equal playing field. Like it wasn't no tripping. You know what I'm saying?
Now, honestly, no, you're right, man. Honestly, when you think about it, man, some of your most happiest moments are sports related, man. Honestly, when you got a whole bunch of people watching the game, or like you can get a whole bunch of people, no matter what creed, race, whatever they believe and shit. If y'all Chiefs fans, this man could be a Ku Klux Klan member right after the game. But he gonna be shaking your hand if you a Chiefs fan, dog. You know what I mean?
A lot of
you know what I mean?
Especially in Kansas City.
Nah, for real. So
I'm just playing.
Nah, I'm sure it's everywhere, man. Even the Raider fans and shit, man. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's crazy, man, because it's like even when you know. Like it's like going back to like the day like Kobe died, man. You could just tell, man, shit was just different. You know what I mean? When he passed away, bro, I remember it like it was fucking yesterday, bro. You know what I mean? Yeah. That shit ruined my fucking month, dog. That shit was I ain't never been like it's kind of like in the sense of like you remember like I remember when Michael Jackson died, you know what I mean? And everybody was like crying and shit, you know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, not sad, you know, see homie die, but I wasn't shedding tears like that, you know what I mean?
I was messed up, man. Mike is my guy, man.
Mike was your guy, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like I never understood it. I'm like, he's a celebrity dude, you know what I mean? It's sad, you know, see people die and shit, but I'm like, I'm not gonna cry over some motherfucker I don't know. You know what I mean?
Hear you.
But then it was like, I got the news, Kobe died. Bro, I was sitting here crying like a little motherfucker. I was tearing up, boy. I was like, damn. So this is why I'm like, I ain't never met Kobe day in my life, man. I never even got close to meet Kobe, bro. I've been to a couple of his games, and I looked up to that motherfucker a lot, bro. He was my favorite player in any sport, no matter what. I'm Kobe. You see it behind on my wall. That's my guy. You know what I mean? And it's just like that day, bro. I ain't never been. I felt like I lost my best. I felt like I lost like a really good friend, bro, like a family member, bro. You know what I mean? So it kind of put me in perspective, like, man, some of these players, man, they hit different, man. Like I'm sure somebody will feel the same way about Bron. You know what I mean? Or whoever, you know. So like it's crazy, man. It's just, man, sports is a beautiful thing, man. I know we kind of getting off topic, but
No.
It's a great thing, man. It really is, man. That's why I enjoy talking about this shit. You know what I mean? That's why we got this podcast. You know, so
right. So for sure. Let's stay in boxing, man. Is Jake Paul good for boxing?
yeah.
Now he just had a fight with Nate Diaz. You know, he ended up winning unanimous decision, knocked him down in the 5th round. He's 5-0 against MMA fighters. Let's get that straight. It's 5-0 in boxing matches against MMA fighters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've had this discussion with a couple of my homies, you know what I'm saying? And here's my thoughts. Is he good for boxing? Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, because he's giving opportunities for guys who may not be afforded to be on major cards to get national, publicity in fights. You know what I'm saying? So Amanda Sereno, she was on the card. She got, that look on pay-per-view. Though it was a couple when we was at work, we was watching the two Mexican guys going at it. They got a chance to get on the card and get that national look. So from that standpoint, yes, I think he's good for boxing. Where he's not good is that I feel like he's making boxing more about a spectacle than it is about the sport. I can't. There's only so much of respect you can get from me as a boxer if you're only getting there with MMA guys. You got in there with one boxer, which was Tommy Fury, and you lost. Now you can say that the fight was close and all that, and I get all that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the one time you got in there with a boxer, you lost. There's only so much respect you can get from me as and we are both pure boxing fans over here. We're not casuals. We don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't just watch it for the big fights. We watch the cards that are not even nationally, televised.
No,
you know what I'm saying? We'll watch a fight that, what's your name's on the card? He fight. Oh, I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, and I'm not sitting here saying that Jake Paul doesn't respect the sport of boxing. He's getting his money. I'm not mad at you. Go get your money, Jake. If they want to pay you $5 million to go fight some bum on the street, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. People want to pay pay-per-view. They hard-earned pay-per-view money to watch you fight some MMA fighter. Hey, man, do your thing. But as a boxing fan, do I think the part that I don't think he's good at, the part that I don't think he's good for boxing is when it's time to get in the ring and he's just fighting whatever MMA past his prime fighter. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my take.
Is Jake Paul good for boxing? I'm gonna say yes. I think he is good for boxing. I think in the sense of I just put him in a different category. It's like the way I feel about Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. I think that's a joke because Tyson Fury is an established boxer with a belt that's holding up a division, and you're choosing to fight an MMA fighter. Now that shit, I don't have no respect for that. I think that's clown shit. He's had opportunities to fight Alexander Usyk. You know what I mean? He made all his demands. Usyk was like, I'm ready to fight. Let's go. I do not care. And he ran away from that fight. You had the opportunity to make Joshua. You could have did Wilder again. I don't care. You chose to fight Francis Ngannou. Miss me with this. He has the potential to not. No, he has no chance. He has no chance. With Jake Paul, he comes in the sense of he was already a YouTuber for me. A big YouTuber. He got huge and all that. And he started doing boxing. He's taking his boxing training very seriously from the looks of it. You know what I mean? Now, as far as can we all, agree that, finding MMA fighters isn't really good if you really want to go through the boxing ranks. Like if your real goal is to be a boxer, then, fight boxers. I totally understand what you're saying. Like you should not even have an MMA fighter's name on the list of potential fighters of you to fight. But I'm not gonna put Jake Paul on the same pedestal as the Tyson Fury though. You know what I mean? Jake Paul has millions of followers. People that probably would have never watched boxing, young people at that, are gonna look into the boxing like, damn, all right. And then as you said, they got young up and coming fighters. Like there was like this one fight with like these two young Mexican guys. Man, that fight was amazing. You know what I mean? So no matter the percentages of people who look at Jake Paul fights and then turn to be like, man, maybe I really love the sport of boxing. Man, let me do a little bit more research into it. Let me see what's up. Let me see who's one of the bigger guys. You know what I mean? I think with Jake Paul, with the mix of these big fights happening, with the Gervonta Davis fights, the Terrence Crawford fights, the Canelo fights, I think it's a great thing because you get a lot of new eyes on the sport that could help potentially generate new viewership. You know what I mean? Because in a sense, it's like I feel like boxing was slowly getting to the sense of like older viewership. You know what I mean? Where there's a lot of old heads watching the fighting game. You know what I mean? Which is not really good, man. Because life, man, everybody dies off, man. So I think if you can get some new eyes on the sport, no matter what, I'm all for it. Like I said, I don't put the same pedestal on Jake Paul. Like I agree with you. Like if you're gonna be a boxer, fight boxers.
That's all I'm saying.
Just fight boxers. Like I totally agree with you on that sense. But I think overall, I think Jake Paul is more great for boxing than he is bad.
Like I would respect Jake, even if he fought like old boxers past their prime.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
if he fought a Sugar Shane Mosley, and he fought, I don't know, whatever, Roy Jones, whatever. Like if he fought some guys that actually were credited boxers and champions of the past or whatever, then I would give him some credit. Okay, at least you're getting in there some guys who know what they're doing. Yeah. You get in there with guys who probably boxed when they were like 15. You know what I'm saying? And then they was like, nah, I want to go do this mixed martial arts stuff. So I get it. Like I said, I agree with you as far as he's putting eyes on the sport. I respect that part. What I don't respect is just like, don't walk around here like you the man. Like, don't walk around here like, oh, I'm you know what I'm saying, I'm accredited by calling out Canelo. Canelo would end you in one round.
But I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. I'm just like, in a sense, it's like I understand why he does it. He's already like one of the biggest figures in entertainment right now. He really is, no matter how you want to view at him. So in a sense, it's like, all right, I'm sure he's looking at it as like, all right, I want to do this boxing thing. I want to take it serious, but in a sense, I need names to fight. So I would love to fight Canelo. He would probably get murdered against fucking Canelo. But Canelo's not gonna fight him. You know what I mean? He could get some young up and coming fighters that want to kind of make a name. All right, cool. But that's Jake Paul's trying to sell pay-per-views. Like he's gonna sell pay-per-views based off names, fighting a Tyron Woodley, fighting a Nate Diaz, fighting that shit. He wants to call out Conor McGregor, fine. He wants to fight Nate Diaz in MMA now. Whatever. Do what you want to do. I just put in a sense of like, he's a YouTuber. I don't take him serious anyway as a boxer. But if you're willing, if he was just doing some shit where it was just like he was the main card, then you got fucking like Jerry Springer about to fight fucking like Maury and shit. I'm like, all right, that's just a little corny. But I think it's great in a sense. It's like, all right, look, I'm gonna do this shit. Yeah, it may be a spectacle, but let's get nothing but boxers. Let's get Amanda Serrano in there. Let's get fucking these young Mexican fighters that are coming up. Let's get fucking what's his name? Kodak Jack or whatever his name in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Get some real boxers. Let's get these. There's gonna be people watching me because I'm fucking Jake Paul. So if we can get, my shit is gonna be a fucking spectacle. But if I can get some motherfucker to be like, all right, man, I got these young guys. Y'all need to check them out. Tune into that shit. I'm gonna promote these motherfuckers just as much as I'm gonna promote myself. And it's like, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure those young guys will never ever get the opportunity to be on a fucking pay-per-view. Not at that age. You know what I mean? So has Kodak Black even ever been on the fucking pay-per-view before Jake Paul shit? I don't know, but that's all I'm saying. Like, I totally understand what you mean, but I just don't have them on the same prince. Like Tyson Fury is another thing for me. That shit's a joke.
No, I hear you. But still, whatever. I just want somebody. I think I just want somebody to knock this dude out.
Nah, I don't have the same hate as Jake. A lot of people have for Jake Paul. Like, he know what he do, man. You know what I mean? If he asks us to be a part of his pay-per-view, I'm gonna be like, we're doing it. I don't give a fuck.
I mean, we could do that. Right?
I'm not saying no at all. Like Jake Paul, holla at us, bro. I'm with it.
I'll take the money, man. I'm broke.
Help
Man.
help our viewership go up.
All right, let's talk about his brother real quick. Now I know you don't watch wrestling like you used to, but SummerSlam happened at the same time as the Jake Paul card on
Yeah,
Saturday.
yeah,
I'm just gonna go through some of the highlights.
yeah. Let me know, man.
Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar.
Okay,
Now, Cody, if those don't watch wrestling, Cody Rhodes is the son of Dustin Rhodes or Dusty Rhodes, and the brother of Goldust, which is Dustin Rhodes.
okay.
He was, back when he came in wrestling, he was a low tier guy. Ran with, the likes of Randy Orton when they were in a crew together with Ted DiBiase Jr.
Mhm.
I actually thought Ted DiBiase Jr. was going to be something, but see how much I know. Cody
Yeah.
Rhodes ended up becoming a man. He left WWE, went off to New Japan, made something of himself, went on the independent circle, came back, made his own wrestling thing called AEW with Tony Khan and Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. And they came together and made AEW. Some people have their feelings about AEW. I particularly like AEW, but it's a good alternative to WWE. So, you know what I'm saying? If you haven't, check out AEW. But he ended up leaving AEW and went back to WWE. And the whole hype about Cody Rhodes was he was going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. You don't know who Roman Reigns is. He is part of that big ass Hawaiian family with Rikishi and The Rock and all them, the great wild Samoans, the head shrinkers, all of them. Yokozuna, people don't know Yokozuna was actually Hawaiian.
Mhm.
Yokozuna, Manga, all of them. He's related to all of them.
Mhm.
But last year WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes ended up losing to Roman Reigns, and now, and which I understand it because I was thinking like leading up for Cody Rhodes to face Roman Reigns, it was like he never faced any like trouble, no trepidation. It was just like they was just handing it to him on a silver platter. Well, ever since he lost to Roman Reigns, he's been dealing with trepidation, dealing with Brock Lesnar, and finally they had their rubber match on SummerSlam. He ends up
Mhm.
beating Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar shows him respect, which they said it was unscripted. It wasn't in the script for him to shake his hands and raise his hand up and all that stuff. So it was kind of a passing of a torch for Cody
Mhm.
Rhodes to go ahead and go back on the road to beating Roman Reigns. But
Yeah.
that was a pretty good match. Uh, Logan Paul versus Ricochet was a great match. Shout out to Logan Paul.
Mhm.
He's actually a really good damn wrestler. I
Yeah.
give him
Yeah.
credit.
Mhm.
And he has a future in this. Regardless of how you feel about Logan Paul, the dude is a very good wrestler. Like he
Mhm.
puts on a fucking show.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Right.
him and Ricochet had a great match. He ended up beating Ricochet, which I understand that Logan Paul has to start racking up these wins if you want to build his character up in the WWE. So
Mhm.
I understand that part. But shout out to Ricochet. Ricochet's a beast. If you've never seen Ricochet, go on YouTube, watch Ricochet.
Okay.
Um, what else? What else? What else? I was surprised that Gunther beat Drew McIntyre. I thought Drew McIntyre was going to beat him for the IC Championship, but I think they're going to go in a different direction with that. The women's three-way with Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, and Asuka. But Bianca Belair ended up winning the championship, but
Mhm.
then Io Sky, who has the Money in the Bank, she ended up winning. Uh, she ended up cashing in, beating Bianca Belair. Now she's the new women's champion. Shout out to Io Sky.
Okay.
Um, LA Knight ended up winning the Battle Royal. LA Knight is becoming a huge fan favorite. Now
Okay.
a lot of people, and I don't disagree, but a lot of people think he's a Stone Cold Rock hybrid
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
because he has his own. His mannerisms is like the Rock,
Yeah.
but he talks like Stone Cold. So it's
Okay.
like, but it's entertainment, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's even made, when you watch wrestling, when somebody would do a promo, everybody in the crowd be like, what,
Yeah. Yeah.
what? Well, he's
Yeah. Yeah.
taking that away because his saying is, yeah, he does that. So
Okay.
everybody in the crowd is saying, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's saying something. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
So, but LA Knight's a fan favorite. He won the Battle Royal. Everybody's happy. Hopefully, that leads to him winning a championship soon because WWE has a tendency, especially when Vince McMahon was in charge, has a tendency of punishing people who get over organically
Okay.
because they want to put you over.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And if they don't put you over, we're gonna punish you and bury you and make you lose every card. So,
Okay. Okay.
and then the main event, Jay
Uh-huh.
Uso versus Roman Reigns.
Mhm.
Jay Uso is the cousin of Roman Reigns. The Usos are the sons of Rikishi. Jay, the storyline, the bloodline has been building. I'm not gonna get into all of that. If you don't know, go on YouTube and
Yeah,
study the
yeah,
bloodline. But this was like the full circle of the, to the head. Jay Uso was the only one that could dethrone Roman Reigns as tribal chief. So they had a good match. Uh, Prior to, his brother Jimmy had got jumped by Roman Reigns and their little brother Solo Sikoa,
yeah. Mhm.
and he was supposed to be in the hospital hurt. So Jey Uso was supposed to avenge Jimmy. Well, Jimmy ended up costing Jey Uso the match.
Oh, what?
Turned on his brother, kicked him in his face, and Roman Reigns is still your champion. So
So, all right. So let me ask you a couple questions. So I come from the era of like Rock, Stone Cold, NWO, all that stuff like that. So if I want to you think it's a great time for somebody like me to get back into wrestling, as far as like watching it? You think the excitement's back to the level that it used to be? What do you
yeah,
think? What do you say to that?
I do think it's back to the level that it used to be because more people are watching, especially with AEW coming up. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? They're on the national level too. So
Yeah.
a lot of people, they're watching wrestling now, and it's people are pro WWE. There's pro AEW, just like back in the day. People were pro WCW, pro WWF. So it's the same type of deal.
Right.
I'm in the stance of I'm pro wrestling.
Okay.
Am I more towards AEW because I like what they do more? But all wrestling leagues have flaws and bad booking here and good booking here. That's just wrestling. You're not
Yeah.
going to be
Yeah.
satisfied with everything with wrestling. Now, do I think Vince McMahon was when he was really in charge? Was he stuck in a back in the day how they used to do things and the tradition and all this stuff? Yes, I think that he was, and I think that the worst thing that happened to wrestling was when he monopolized wrestling. He bought WCW, when he bought all these other wrestling leagues. He stopped trying. He stopped caring because he was the only thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Now that they have somebody else, somewhat of a competition, they had to raise their standards. And now that they got Vince McMahon about it there and put Triple H in charge, things have gotten better. So yeah.
So, like, are the stories like? Because I know back in the day, man, a lot of back in the day, man, the stories were fucking amazing. You know what I mean? As far as like
Mm,
the battles against like Stone Cold Steve Austin versus the McMahon family, Rock and all that. Are the stories on that kind of tier level as far as like the
hmm
imagination of them, the excitement of it, the bad blood that
Yes.
goes into it? You think it's on
hmm
that up tier? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's bad. It's the Bloodline storyline was probably the best storyline in wrestling. Like I said, I'd be here all day trying to explain that,
No, no,
but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it was a great storyline. There's some other storylines out there that are just killing it right now, but yeah.
If you're giving advice to somebody that wants to maybe potentially look into wrestling, who are your like top wrestlers and top storylines going on right now that you think people should get interested in right now that could help them along?
Well, of course, on the WWE side, you got LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, the Usos, New Day, Roman Reigns, Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's just to name a few. Even the women: Bianca Belair, Asuka, Charlotte Flair, um, Io Sky. Those Becky Lynch.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then on the AEW side, you got the Elite, which is Kenny Omega, Young Bucks, Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Then you got the Lucha Bros, John Moxley, It's just a whole bunch of guys.
So
Yeah.
is AEW more like WCW,
It's closer.
ECW?
It's closer to it's closer to WCW way. I mean, they kind of even got the same feel. They're on
Yeah,
TNT, all that good stuff.
yeah.
So, but they're more centric around pro wrestling.
Okay,
Whereas in what's your name is more sports entertainment. Not to say
okay.
they don't wrestle on WWE,
Hmm.
but they're more it's about the match. Not to say
Okay.
they don't have good storylines. They think they do. Some people think they don't, but I think they do. But it's more about the match and putting on great matches, whereas in WWE is about storyline, soap opera, blah blah blah. I mean AEW has that too, but like I said, they're more because they're like a major company
Hmm.
ran like an independent.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
So, just one more question. So, you explained to us what happened in SummerSlam and all that. Do you have any like future predictions or what's going to happen in the next couple of months? What's the next pay per view going to happen? What should people look out for?
Well,
Stuff
I
like
mean, of course, and AEW is about to have a pay per view this month, August 27th, called All In. It's going to be in London. They already sold, probably had the highest ticket sales ever in history, like 78,000 or whatever like that.
that.
Tickets have been sold in the UK. Some big matches: Young Bucks versus FTR, MJF. Oh, MJF is another one. Um, he's probably the best heel in wrestling period right now. Him and Adam Cole have a match. Um, just to name a few. Uh, WWE is going to have Payback, which the name says itself.
Yeah.
You're going to have Jay Uso versus Jimmy Uso, which in an interview they said that was a dream match for them in WrestleMania, but they're
Hmm.
probably just going to do it now. Maybe they do it later on down the line in WrestleMania, but their dream match was to face each other anyway. So
Okay.
that it makes sense. And I already know what Jimmy Uso is probably going to say. It probably has nothing to do with him being back with Roman Reigns. It's more so like, you claim you did all this on your own, but I'm the
Hmm.
reason why you main event guy
Yeah.
type deal. So it's more so based on jealousy. So they're gonna, go at it and yeah.
Okay. Cool. 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 I'll make sure to check it out, man. You gotta do
Yeah.
maybe start doing a little bit more wrestling topics for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, man. Headlines from training camp. A lot of holdouts. Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, Zach Martin. Some injury updates on was it Joe Burrow? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of stuff going on in training camp. Um, as far as Chris Jones go, we need to go ahead and get him signed up because this is getting ridiculous. This is getting ridiculous. Charles Avenue is suspended for 6 games. We need him back on. Well, he's coming back, but we need him signed
Yeah.
beyond this year. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, for sure. Nick Bosa, he's not signed. You know how the Bosa brothers roll. They want their paper. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So then you got injuries. Jalen, we talked about Jalen Ramsey, Joe Bosa, Joey Burrows. Uh, Jamar Chase came out and said he don't want him to come back to like week 5, even
Hmm.
though they start out the gate with the
Yeah.
Browns and the Ravens, which is division games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
get a 2-0 lead against the division, that's a good start. So,
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on that thing in training camp?
Um. Well, the funny shit is the Trey Ned camp is fucking hilarious.
Like, what do I put?
That shit's hilarious. But anyways,
Is that what I put?
yeah, Trey Ned. Anyways,
Man, I was typing fast.
but anyways, nah, honestly, man, I want to be selfish with this shit. I think the biggest story for me is fucking Josh Jacobs to me, bro. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
think Josh Jacobs, he needs to hurry up and come back in camp, brother. You know what I mean? Take that $12 million. You know what I mean? The market right now is pretty dry. I was starting to hear some weird stuff where you're talking about maybe rescinding the franchise tag, and then he would be potentially a free agent where he can sign anywhere else. I was hearing rumors about maybe the Broncos and your funky ass Chiefs maybe getting involved in that. I do not see that happening. I think if he ends up becoming a free agent, he's not going to get anywhere close to $12 million. People just aren't paying running backs. So hopefully the Raiders and that front office can find a way to convince Josh Jacobs to get back. You already got Devontae Adams already screaming that he's already mad that Josh Jacobs ain't a part of camp right now. And then I've already been seeing stuff about goddamn, our quarterback not looking that great in the camp. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna be selfish with it, man. I think definitely it's Josh Jacobs right now for me. What about you?
Chris Jones.
Chris Jones. Any word on that?
No.
Nothing at all.
I just keep hearing they're optimistic. They're optimistic. Okay, whatever.
Well, I know y'all got a little track record where y'all keep trading people that need new contracts and stuff. Think it? All right. Well,
I don't think we trade him. I don't think we trade him.
So
it wouldn't benefit. Look, at the end of the day, I don't think the Chiefs have any leverage right now because at the end of the day, they got to extend him because they need cap space. Regardless, they got to extend. We got 246,000 in cap space right now. That ain't no. You need at least $5 million just in case something happened. Trade deadline, you want to go trade for somebody. And we not only Chris Jones with the Charles Minnieu thing, we still need to add some more pieces to this. I wouldn't mind us going back and get Carlos Dunlap. You know what I'm saying? He'll be a year in. He knows the system. He was there last year, so bring him back. Let him start. You know what I'm saying? In place of Charles Minnieu, and let's let this thing roll. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
I saw. So I know you said you're not worried, but when would you start getting worried?
About the third preseason game.
So he hasn't hinted on his Twitter feed at all. If anything going on, he hasn't said anything. Happy. None of that.
A bunch of cryptic shit that all these fucking football players do. They recite some lyrics from a song. Everything ain't always what it seems. Like what?
So who do you think is more to blame right now for the situation that's going on? Do you think it's more Chiefs? Do you think it's more Chris Jones?
From what I'm hearing, is Clark Hunt. From what I'm hearing, I'm hearing that. Okay, look, Chris Jones wants close to $30 million. He wants close. He understands he's not better than Aaron Donald, so he's like, make me the second highest paid defensive tackle, which I'm not mad at that. Go get your money, brother. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you can get $30 million, hey, go get it. You know, especially with the season you had last year.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's where where it's at. I think the Chiefs are like, we'll give you 28. We'll give you 28. I don't know about 30. You know what I'm saying? And I get it because I get it from both sides. Look, I get it. You got to put, you know what I'm saying, your franchise. You as a GM, you got to think about not just this year. You got to think about beyond. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. We always say, that's the GM's problem, blah, blah, blah. But still, you're right. It is the GM problem. And then one of the GM's job is I can't just think about 2023, 2024 season. I got to think about 3-4 years from now. Yeah. We're going to have the cap space to sign maybe a Trent McDuffie or you know what I'm saying, maybe even a Sky Moore. Like, we got to sign some of these other guys. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, we need to get this extension done.
So I predict that the Josh Jacobs thing will get done around the third preseason game. Do you have a prediction on when you think Chris Jones thing will get resolved?
Hopefully by next week, bro.
Hopefully. You've been telling me this for 4 weeks now.
I know. That's why I'm saying hopefully now. Hopefully by next week.
How does the majority of Chiefs Kingdom feel?
They're going through it, man.
Yeah.
They're going through it. Every time, all the group chats that I'm in,
So let's play a hypothetical game. So let's say you guys don't get Chris Jones. Let's say shit goes left. He's missing week 1, week 2, week 3. It's going into the season. How do you think that will affect your team? Do you see any changes as far as your predictions, as far as where they might go, land in the division? What do you think?
I mean, of course, I don't think our defense will be as good. You know what I'm saying? Like I like you heard me. I think this will be potentially, if Chris Jones is there, of course, I factored in Charles Minnieu and he'll be back, towards the middle of the season.
Yeah.
But I was predicting that this was going to be the best defense that Patrick Mahomes ever played with. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
These young guys are in the second year of there was about 6-7 rookies that played last year. Yeah. And a lot of these guys are going to be starters again. Trent McDuffie, we all know, was highly touted coming out of Washington. You know what I'm saying? And he showed it, in games last year that he's a very good corner. Is he guard. Is he sauce? No, he's not sauce, but
Yeah.
he's like, this is sauce and this is Trent. Trent's like probably right here. So
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got a little Jair Alexander in him. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
smaller corner, but it's just effective. He
Yeah.
knows how to play the position. Um, I like Jalen Watson, our other corner, Joshua Williams, Justin Reed, who I think is a very good safety. He's going to be second
Mm-hmm.
year
Mm-hmm.
in the scheme. So
Okay.
all these guys are going to know where to go now.
Okay.
Spags doesn't have to like just be so vanilla and basic because he's trying to teach these guys on the fly. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? The scheme, and he can't do some of the stuff, the intricate stuff of a defense that he want to do. Now he can do that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then
Yeah.
I think this defensive line was going to be better with Chris Jones, Charles Minnieu, a second year of George Karlaftis. I like the kid that we drafted in the first round, FAU. I actually think he's better coming out than what George Karlaftis is because he has a more better tools. You know what I'm saying? He got
Mm-hmm.
more hand movements and moves and stuff that he can do.
Yeah.
And then the receiving core, say what you want about the receiving core. I know I'm not saying this, but I think they're young and I think they have potential. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah. So
I know preseason is coming up this week. Who do y'all play this week for preseason?
Saints.
Saints. So what are you looking forward to? Like what are you looking to see going into the first week? Like what would you like to see?
Some of these young defensive lineman guys, get off and maybe get a couple sacks. And of course, these young receivers, Justin Ross, Rasheed Rice, Sky Moore, those guys are probably going to play predominant most of the snaps because they're probably, Mahomes and they'll probably get a series. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
if
right.
that, you know what I'm saying? They'll probably get a series. So I want to see, preseason, I just want to see some of the young guys step up, show something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what we got looking forward to in the season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can Rasheed Rice possibly be the first rookie in a long time, probably since Deshaun Jackson in an Andy Reid scheme, get some quality playing time? Because I know rookies and receivers in this offense, they like Sky Moore last year, they don't tend to get a bunch of run because they coming from a smaller school, Western Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Your playbook is probably like this big. Then you go into an Andy Reid playbook where he wants you to know every position at wide receiver. It's not like, most schemes is like, you're an X or you're a Y or you're a Z. It's no, I want you to learn all three because on this play, you could be the Z. And on this play, you could be the X. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So that's what I want to see.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see preseason. I know we played Niners. I know we have joint practices with them this week. So we got a game on Sunday against the Niners. So I'm curious to see what's up. There's big movement as far as like with Trey Tucker. I want to see how Jimmy Garoppolo looks. Obviously, Tyreek Wilson, he's still not practicing right now, so that's another topic for another situation. I'm not happy about that, but this is what happens when you start getting damaged goods, man. Niggas ain't ready to start training camp off. So that kind of makes me having less expectations with him. He's not going to get a full training camp, so I expect him to start off slow whenever he does come back. I'm kind of curious to see. I know with Marcus Peters, they're saying our defense is looking pretty amazing. I don't know if it's because our defense is looking better or Jimmy Garoppolo is just fucking ass. I do not know. We will find out. But against this Niners team, obviously Bosa is not there. Nick Bosa is not there, so he's not going to be playing. Obviously, the starters aren't going to be playing much anyway. But I think the Niners do have a lot of talent across the board from youth, where I think this should be a good test for us to see how we look. Obviously we drafted Aiden McConnell. See how he looks. So I'm excited, man. Preseason is here. I know the games start Thursday all weekend, so football season is here. I'm excited.
And of course, I want to see CJ Stroud, and I want to see how Bryce Young and all these young Anthony Richardson. I want to see how he looks with the Colts. So there's other young guys I want to see, flourish too.
I think a lot of the guys are. I think there's one less preseason game this year or something like that. So I think a lot of the guys are starting. I know the Broncos are pretty much starting their whole offense. I saw CJ Stroud is starting. I think Anthony Richardson is starting. I think Bryce Young is also starting. So. Preseason is preseason, but it's good to get these guys out on the field, see what's up. Man, our main concern is hopefully a lot of our guys, on both of our teams. I know our rookies. I hope we see some good things from these guys. We don't need to see anything crazy, but we can see pop out a couple plays here and there. That give us some good ideas on how you're going to play, and then hopefully all these guys can just stay healthy, man. Pretty much, man. It's hold your breath season, bro. Hopefully, all these guys can just, stay healthy, man. We have no serious injuries. I've always been that type of person. I hate to see, no matter what team it is, I hate to see injuries, man. It's better to see these guys on the field than on a stretcher board. You know what I mean? So hopefully, everybody stays healthy out there during the preseason, man. And let's get the season going, bro. For real.
Yeah, for sure. All right, brother. Another one in the books.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Good topics, good discussion. You know what I'm saying? And football is back.
It is back.
I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling
it too, brother.
I'm excited, man. Hopefully I can line my pockets at the same time.
Hey, man, I know eventually we're gonna start doing our spreads and stuff like that. I think next week we're doing fantasy football. We're doing fantasy football next week.
We can talk fantasy next week, man.
Yeah, I know. We did a plan. We're gonna do a whole fantasy podcast thing. So I think we'll talk about it. But I think that's the date we did it for. But man, it's gonna be a great thing. I might even, if I can get some free tickets, maybe I'll go check out the Niner and Raider game. You know what I mean? So see how it go. I ain't paying for that shit though.
For sure. All right, man. For all those who are listening, just know our podcast is available on all streaming platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Stitcher. Well, Stitcher's about to go down. So Breaker, whatever streaming platform that you use, Cris podcast is on there. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow us, man. Also, follow us on YouTube too. Hit that like, subscribe, all that notification bell. So when these episodes drop at 9 a.m. on Wednesday, you'll get them. You know what I'm saying? And you can just go ahead and click that button and watch the new episodes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Do that.
And whatever social media platform you use, you can follow us at Cris on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Facebook. Follow us. We will follow you back because we are fans just like you. We want that interaction with our people that watch us. So check us out, man. Hit us up. Talk to us. Give us feedback. Critique us if you need to. Just talk to us nice. Don't come at us crazy. You know what I'm saying? We still fresh in this. You know what I'm saying? We still learning. You know what I'm saying?
And we'll talk crazy too, though. Ain't nobody scared of it, but
yeah, exactly.
It's all love over here, man. It's all love.
So we all about peace over here, but don't get crazy. So, but yeah, go ahead and follow us on social media so we can have that interaction with y'all. So you can tell us what y'all want, what y'all like, what topics y'all want us to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So until next time, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Peace.